What is up, rockers of the Rock Nation? This is your fellow rocker here, Rockerman X, and I am here right now with my review to WWE FastLane 2017, the last stop, the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania. And God, I'm just gonna go on a limb right now and say this. People can be pissed off all they fucking want. That honestly, this pay-per-view, to me, it's just, there's so much wrong. Like, I could not stay entertained. Like, I don't know. But yeah, the worst pay-per-view, whatever. The point of what I'm going to say is, I'm going to go on a limb here and say this was so far, maybe because I've been more of a SmackDown guy lately, as I've said before. You know, Elimination Chamber, hell of a pay-per-view. You know, you figured Raw would find some way to try to top SmackDown with this pay-per-view, but they didn't. And I'm willing to go on a limb here and say that out of the 3 pay-per-views that has happened so far this year, of the main roster pay-per-views, FastLane, I'm gonna go on a limb here and say this, that ranking those 3, Elimination Chamber, Royal Rumble, and FastLane, what's that saying? Meaning FastLane was by far the worst pay-per-view of the year so far. And I mean that. Obviously, the pay-per-view, there might be worse pay-per-views throughout the year. We only had 3. You know WrestleMania is going to be hella good because it's WrestleMania. They always try to make that the best show of the year no matter what. But yeah, the FastLane, worst pay-per-view of the year out of the 3 so far. And it's not even, I mean, all my predictions, I got out of my predictions, the matches I predicted, there was 2 matches that wasn't on the card list. It was the Jinder Mahal and Rusev match, which was obviously filler. But out of the 8 main matches, I got 6 out of 8 right. I predicted 6 out of 8 right, so that I'm happy about. But the point of it is, this pay-per-view, I did not stay entertained at all during this pay-per-view. Literally, I think the only matches I paid attention to was the Raw Tag Team Championship match, obviously the Women's Championship match, and the main event you kind of have to pay attention to, but I didn't really pay that much attention to it. I was glancing at it more anyway, blah, blah. The main reason I paid attention is because I knew it was just going to be short, and you know, I already knew what was going to happen. That's part of the reason why I didn't want to pay attention to it, but I still did. Probably the Neville, actually no, the Sasha Banks and Nia Jax match, and probably the Cruiserweight match. So that's like 4 I paid attention to. But the 2 that I really enjoyed the most was the tag team match, and literally the tag team match and the women's championship match was probably my 2 favorite matches tonight. Adding Sasha Banks and Nia Jax, Sasha finally getting Nia Jax losing, you know, adding Samoa Joe and Zayn being a good match, whatever. But overall, my thoughts on the pay-per-view, as I've already stated, worst pay-per-view of the year out of the 3 so far. Moving on to my review though. Trust me, I can rant about this pay-per-view so much, but the rant is not going to come to an end because of the main event. The main event is where the rant is going to happen. Warning you guys now. But, starting off with the kickoff match, we have the Cruiserweight match. Rich Swann and Akira Tozawa versus Braun, Kendrick, and Noam. I thought this was, from what I paid attention to, I thought this was a pretty decent match. It was a Cruiserweight match. You know, you can't really say much about Cruiserweights because they don't have really a function on the main roster, and I still say that, like, except for Neville and Gallagher and Tozawa and Kendrick, you know, it's just, the Cruiserweights aren't, I feel like there's need to be more focus on the Cruiserweights. People have been saying that for months, though. But overall, this match I thought was a good match, kickoff match, to kind of get the crowd going for the main show. You know, I thought it was a decent match. I can't say it was bad. Like, all the matches tonight were okay or good. That's how I feel about it. And there might be some greats, but there might be 1 or 2 greats here and there, but there's definitely no outstanding, you know, matches that I'm going to remember forever, and that's saying something. But, yeah, Rich Swann and Akira Tozawa won, simple as that. Moving on to the main show, Sami Zayn versus Samoa Joe. And again, for Sami Zayn being on this losing streak, I guess you could say, and him getting, if you guys hear the fan too, I apologize, him being on this losing streak, him constantly getting the shit beat out of him, Why WWE's doing this with someone like Zayn? I don't know. Zayn, who's a hell of a competitor, and he can work, and he can sell. Like, I don't see why they're not trying to move him up. And it's like, he's just the guy that everybody beats on lately. And I'm just like, that's something that really baffles me. And, you know, it's one of those things where you're hoping he's not going to be like this for the rest of his career. But, you know, somewhere deep down, you, like, know he will be. But you're hoping that he's not going to be. Because Zayn's a hell of a competitor. And I say competitor, but worker, I guess, would be a better term for it. But you get my point. And Samoa Joe, it's Samoa Joe. He's a legend in the business. You can't really say anything bad about him, no matter what. You know, and I thought this was another good opening match. And by opening match, I mean opening to the main show. You know, again, another match that got the crowd going, I felt like. You know, if I want to pay attention to it, there were some good spots, some good moments. It was enjoyable. So, hey, still saying this was the worst pay-per-view of the year, but, yeah. Samoa Joe wins, as I called it, as one of my 6 victories. Now, moving on, we got the Raw Tag Team Championship match, and this for the tag team match. Out of the 2 tag team matches that happened, if you count the pre-show match, this was definitely, I feel like, the better tag team match. Obviously, Enzo and Cass, boom. Luke Gallows and Anderson, boom. Again, more awesome competitors. More awesome workers. I still want to say that, but it's like Enzo and Big Cass, always good chemistry when they fight. Gallows, when they tag, obviously. Gallows and Anderson, good chemistry there from them. You know, they've all worked together for so long now that they know how to mesh, and you know, and even together against each other, they all know how to mesh. So it makes a good, exciting match. Like, like the ending where Enzo got his boot on the rope, and I think it was Anderson, might have been Gallows, but I think it was Anderson just pushed it off. You know, I think it might have been Gallows. I think it was Gallows that pushed it off. But you get my point. And just some of the action that happens in the match, you know, when they get dumped out of the ring, the big boots, you know, just the action in the match really did mesh well for me. And I felt this was like I felt like this was definitely one of the matches of the night. I say one of them. But that's just personally for me, as I already said. But, you know, I'll even give the Cruiserweight Championship match of the night. Possibly. Reigns versus Strowman could have that. But again, a lot of these matches were probably good at best. There might have been some greats, but again, just from what I didn't pay attention. Apparently people are already oh, nope. I was like, I was wondering how many people were bitching about me, my ranting on Facebook about the match already. No, as I did, yeah. But, so I heard my thing go off, but whatever. Raw Tag Team Championship match. Gallows and Anderson retain. Fuck. So hopefully at WrestleMania, might be a triple threat match. Hopefully Enzo and Cass get championship there if it's a triple threat match. Gallows and Anderson, Enzo Amore, and of course Sheamus and Cesaro. I feel like that's going to be the match at Mania for the Raw Tag Team Championship. So, yeah. Moving on now, we have the first of the 2 women's matches of the night. Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. I can't really say much about this match. For a women's match, it was a good match. You know, there's some fun sleeper spots there. It was just a fun... I don't want to say it was a fun match, but there were some good sleeper spots there and stuff like that, you know. And ultimately, in the end, Sasha Banks got the win, beating Nia Jax. Fuck yeah. One of the highlights of the night. Now, moving on, I'm going to put these 2 matches together because, you know, we saw in the pre-show or whatever when, you know, Mahol and Rusev were complaining about, oh, we're not a tag team anymore, blah, blah, blah. We want singles competition action. And Mick Foley was like, oh, well, you know, you guys are going to have to fight out and see who gets the first match, but we're going to have you both in a match tonight. Obviously, filler for the main event. Fuck that main event. But we had Jinder Mahal versus Cesaro. Well, before I go back, Sasha Banks winning too is my second of my 6 victories. But yeah, Jinder Mahal versus Cesaro. We had Jinder Mahal versus Cesaro and Rusev versus Big Show. I thought these were decent matches for filler matches. I really can't say they were holy shit godlike matches, but for filler matches they were alright. You know, I can see where they entertain him. Big Show, you know, him doing, you know, I understand in Big Show keeping Rusev looking strong with the 3 choke slams and the knockout punch in the corner to put him down. You know, I thought that was a pretty decent way to end the match. I really do. And Cesaro versus Jinder Mahal, that was another good match. You know, I like Cesaro, so I also like Big Show. But hey, but yeah, Jinder Mahal and Rusev both lost. their singles matches, meaning Cesaro beat Mahol and Big Show beat Rusev. So, yeah. Now, moving on now, we have the Cruiserweight Championship match, which, as I said, I feel like could take match of the night. Mainly because, at least for the, if not match of the night overall, at least match of the night for the Cruiserweights, because right now these two definitely are the most over superstars. Why? Because these two are most over Cruiserweights, because they really are focusing more on these two as characters. So I have been enjoying it. Gallagher. Yeah, I don't really like him, but Neville, I'll give that a thumbs up. But yeah, overall, this match was a fun match. I'm not going to lie, from what I've seen. I mean, and plus, I'm not going to lie. I mean, all the way through, the spots, especially the end. Holy shit. But the Cruiserweight match was definitely a fun match all the way through. I'm not going to say it wasn't. Definitely a fun match. You know, and literally, though, the ending, though, where Gentleman Jack G. I'm going to say Jack G. Gentleman Jack G. There you go. Where he, like, did that headbutt to Neville where you could hear the headbutt, which probably actually could. Obviously, it was just a slap or something, but, you know how they do the sound effects sometimes, most of the time. But just the way that headbutt sounded was, and it actually echoed too, is like, and you had Neville sitting there in the corner, whether he was actually, well, where he was selling it, where he was knocked out, but then he obviously came back when Jack G was going for the superplex, and Neville just pushed him off. And I'm not going to lie, that red arrow was probably the best red arrow that I've seen in a long time. Why? Just the way Jack G sold that, and Neville sold it as well, where he did the red arrow, flipped over onto his hands, did a handstand for about a solid second or two, and then rolled off, and it was just, that was a hell of a red arrow. Not going to lie. And Neville ultimately in the end got a 1-2-3 finish. Still, you're Cruiserweight champion. Thank you. Now, moving on from that, we got the Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman match. And again, another decent match. I'm not going to say this match was terrible, but it was another decent match. Ultimately, though, I'm just going to say, though, that this match is what it is, I guess you could say. Because Reigns getting the win was obvious because it's Roman Reigns. He's going to get the win some way. You know, they put him in the situation where it's like, oh, I'm against this unstoppable monster. I'm the big guy around here. I want to fight, and I'm going to beat him and do all this. Essentially, that's what they're going to do. Essentially, that's what they did. It's Roman Reigns. You know it's going to happen. Overall, though, Roman Reigns did win. Nothing more to really say about that match. It was an alright match. Moving on now, we have my favorite match tonight. Well, probably one of my favorite matches, only because, again, I'm when the match pay attention to the Raw Women's Championship match. Bayley versus Charlotte, or, as the Lee wants to bill her, Charlotte Flair. All I'm going to say is, another fun match, I felt like. Bayley and Charlotte, they work well together. You know, except for that weird thing Bayley was doing where she, where Charlotte kept trying to get off the top rope where she was hanging upside down, and Bayley kept hitting her, and then she did like that springboard elbow. For whatever reason, I don't know why. I think in the mix of it, Bayley was going for like kind of like a springboard elbow drop to like, it looked like it hit Charlotte's hand. Honestly, it was like one of those ways to stop her from getting up or something. I don't know, but you know, I did like that moment where Bayley. That was the weirder spot of the match for me, but nonetheless, it was still a good match. I'm just happy too. I don't. Well, wait. Another weird spot was the ending too, where honestly, I think the match was actually supposed to end in DQ, but for some reason it didn't because the referee might have fucked up. I think. I don't know. I mean, you'd be surprised what fuck ups can happen. I don't know. I just feel like it might have actually should have ended the DQ because, you know, Bayley versus Charlotte. You know, at the end where Sasha came out, and it did look like that Sasha did attack Charlotte, but you know, the referee could have took that like, you know, and if that happened, you know, the referee could have took that, oh well, you know, if this is happening, Sasha didn't attack, Charlotte attacked first, which I could see that happening, that being a confusing moment, even to anyone, because I was like, Okay, as long as Bayley's still champion, I'm fine. But why would they... I'm like, oh. Alright. I saw them like, why is the referee not DQing Bayley? No, because I feel like that should have been a DQ. Again, that was the weird ending to the match, and obviously Bayley got the win with the Bayley to belly. So, I'm not complaining. Finally, Charlotte's streak is over. Her fucking 16-0 pay-per-view streak is over. Thank fucking God. As I was sick and tired of seeing Charlotte winning, and if she got the title back, I would have been pissed the fuck off. And I see, yeah. But hey, Bayley won. I'm happy as fuck. Thank God Bayley won. That was my 5th out of my 6. So obviously you know what my last one's going to be. But before I go on... Well, give me a minute. Yeah. But before that... Sorry, I was looking at my thing. I'm going to cut this here. So I apologize. But there will be a cut because I'm going to go do something real quick. And then I'll talk... And literally... Then I'll talk about the main event. Alright. So, I am back. So, again, there's going to be a cut in the video. But, yeah, main event time! The Universal... Well, correction, the WWE... I can't speak. The WWE Universal Championship match. Kevin Owens versus... Goldberg. Yeah. Kevin Owens versus Goldberg for the Universal Championship. Fuck you, WWE. Wow, I think it's the first time I said that in a long time. No, I don't know. Better yet, not the... No, I can't blame WWE. Fuck you, Monday Night Raw. That's another way I can put it. Why am I so pissed off over literally, I'm going to go and tell you now. For those of you that didn't watch the show, or just like watching pay-per-view reviews so you can see what people say and just know who wins, Goldberg fucking won the Universal title. Well, now, before I go into my huge long rant, I'm going to say this right here, right now. I can understand why they done it. They did it for the older fans. Myself, I'm up there in my age. I'm not... Well, I'm not... I don't want to say I'm up there. That makes me sound old as fuck, but... Let's put it like this. I'm a bit of an older fan myself. Alright? You know, let me put it like this. And even before... Goldberg, like, you know, they said he was going to come back and do the shit. I knew who Goldberg was, essentially. That's the best way to put it. I have not... Let me put it like this. I don't want to sound old, but let me put it like this. I have knowledge of older days of wrestling. Now, there you go. That sounds better. I think as... I'm not an older wrestling fan, but I have knowledge of... as if some of the older wrestling fans would. I guess that's a good way to put it, maybe. I don't know. But here's the thing that really pisses me off the most. The fact that Goldberg won is what really tipped me over the edge out of this. Even though I knew it was happening. As soon as I booked the match, I knew it was happening. But I think Goldberg actually winning is what tipped me over. And that's what's really pissing me off here. Because here's the thing. Goldberg was gone for about 12 years. It's gone for, let's say, since 2002. I think that was his last match. Wasn't against Brock Lesnar before he came back. So actually, yeah, over a decade. I'm gonna say about what, 10 years, 15 years, I think. I could be wrong here, but let's say a decade at least. Maybe in 2004. I don't know. Let's say though, at the very least, maybe 12 years, 13 years. I think it was 12 years. So I might as well say about a decade. No, yeah, it was 2004, so about 2017 makes 13 years since that match, but you might as well say 12. So, yeah, a decade. he was gone for a better part of a decade from the WWE, from any kind of wrestling, as far as I know. And he comes back, he faces Brock Lesnar. I'm like, alright, it's him facing Brock Lesnar. I'm not excited about this match, but I'll see where it goes. Obviously, we saw where that went. Came back in the Royal Rumble match. Well, obviously, he beat Brock Lesnar. In the Survivor Series, right? Yeah. Came back at Royal Rumble. You know, he entered the Royal Rumble. He eliminated Brock. Then I think he got eliminated by The Undertaker. Alright. WWE FastLane. Raw's pay-per-view after Royal Rumble. Goldberg faces Kevin Owens for the Universal title. What has Goldberg done to deserve that title? And that's what pisses me off the most. He was going for the better part of 10 years. Wow, you eliminate Brock from Rumble. Wow, you beat Brock in less than 3 minutes. What is the point in him coming back, facing Kevin Owens, and winning the goddamn Universal title? I understand as I already said, I understand they did it for the older fans. But no, and why people are cheering Goldberg, and all this, he's a superhero. But I like Goldberg, I'm a Goldberg fan. He didn't need this fucking victory. He did not need this title. He did not fucking need it. Nor, as I already said, what has he done to deserve it? In the better part of a decade. Absolutely fucking nothing. It was just handed to him on a silver platter. And people can argue like, oh, Triple H won a title at the Royal Rumble. And people are probably going like, oh, you're just mad because he's a part-timer. Or like, oh, well, Triple H is a part-timer and he won it at the 2016 Royal Rumble. That was a completely different situation on that. Triple H has been in the company literally his whole career. Whether he wrestles or not, he's still in the back doing whatever. He was part of the authority. He was the leader of the... Him and Stephanie, the leaders of the authority. Triple H should come out as a part-timer, as champion, didn't have to wrestle, and he could bring legitimacy to that title. Why? Because he was there each and every week, whether he was bragging about being champion or something. Right? Okay. Alright, now that I got that off my chest, right? So, fuck Goldberg for having the title. Another part-timer for the title. What are they going to do for Goldberg to legitimize the title? Well, at WrestleMania, he's going to face Brock Lesnar for the title. Alright. He's going to face Brock Lesnar for the title at WrestleMania. That is exactly the other reason why I'm pissed off at this. The last time the last time Brock was champion, what did he do with it? As well, nothing. It's not even the fact that a part-timer has it that I'm mad about. That's not why I'm mad about it. It's just the fact that, you know, what has he done to deserve it? Him facing Brock for the title. Obviously, we already know Brock's going to fucking win at WrestleMania. You know, you're not going to have Brock lose 3 times to Goldberg. You know, because Goldberg ain't going to be around any longer. His last match is probably going to be WrestleMania. Brock's going to be around for about another year or so. At least. Unless, depending on how his contract is. He's going to be champion again. That's going to be another point that what the fuck are they going to do with the title while Brock is away? Because chances are, unless his scheduled pay-per-views are completely different in his contract, chances are you're not going to see him until SummerSlam. It's always like that. One of the big 4 pay-per-views. He's always at the big 4. He might show up on Raw from time to time, but generally, he only fights at the big 4 pay-per-views. If he fights, that is. I would even count the fucking Royal Rumble as a match for him. And literally, no disrespect to Goldberg having, you know, no disrespect to Goldberg having the title. All respect to a legend. But that's the thing. I don't care that he's a legend. I don't care that he's a legend. Some people are like, oh, that's not respecting him. No, I respect Goldberg. I respect him as a legend, as a, you know, as a man, as a legend. I can respect him. But him having the title doesn't be just no. No. Now, while this match happened, they had Kevin Owens, or not Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho essentially come out and cost Owens. Alright, I'm fine with that. But here's the thing. Why couldn't they have set it up, right? You know, why not turn Jericho to the face after Fastlane, you know? After his match with Goldberg. Have him cost Goldberg the match, you know? Then you could still technically set up Brock versus Goldberg at Mania. It's stupid that it's for the title. You know, I would, you know, and while, yes, Chris Jericho, if I remember right, is still technically the United States title, they're going to have Jericho versus Owens for the United States. Owens is probably going to win, and Jericho's probably going to go and, you know, off with Fozzy and probably do a tour with Fozzy. Which, that depends. I really don't know. People said that months ago that was going to happen. He still hasn't done it. You know, I would have rather have seen Owens versus Jericho for the Universal title or a double title match for United States and the Universal title. Whoever wins basically unifies those two titles. Well, I don't want to say unifies those two titles, but you get my point. Whoever wins holds both those titles. Because here's the thing. If, you know, if Jericho doesn't, you know, because here's the thing. If Jericho doesn't do the Fozzy thing, Jericho wins. He's the Universal Champion. I would have loved to see that. If he does, ends up doing if he does, or plan to do the Fozzy thing after Mania, Owens wins. It's whatever. That's one thing there too, you know? No matter who won that match, I would have rather seen Jericho versus Owens with the Universal title on the line. Fuck Goldberg being champion. All I gotta say rests with that. And literally, that's my rant. People might say, oh, well, that wasn't a rant at all. No, it was a rant to me. You know, I could go on way longer about this, but I probably just end up repeating myself or saying more shit that might make people pissed off at me. Quite honestly, I don't care if people are pissed off at me over my opinion on this. I really don't care, but it's whatever. I'm going to end this video now before I go on. But yeah, Goldberg is Universal Champion. Simple as that. So yeah. Alright, I'm calm now. After I get it out of my chest, I'm a little bit calm. Not happy, but I'm calm. But yeah. WWE FastLane wasn't nothing special. Elimination Chamber, a hell of a lot better. So yeah, until next time guys, live free and rock.